So it goes without saying that CD Projekt Red had a pretty big day yesterday during Microsoft's press conference. I mean, the announcement that Keanu Reeves would be in the game, playing none other than Johnny Silverhand, no less. Yeah, that made one hell of a wave across the internet. If you were with me there during E3 watching my live reactions, then you know that I freaked the fuck out. Keanu Reeves may very well be my favorite action star, so to see him in this game and to see him be so gracious on stage and just reveling in all of it and being so humble and so fun, just fantastic. And Keanu aside, the game itself also looks truly magnificent. We did get mostly cinematics during Microsoft's press conference, but there was that final bit before the release date was announced in which we saw tidbits of actual tangible gameplay, and what little glimpses we got there looked pretty awesome. I'm assuming those are bits from the gameplay demo that media outlets are going to get to see behind closed doors, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that all ties together and reporting back to you guys. Now, alongside a new trailer for Cyberpunk 2077, CD Projekt Red also released an unboxing video for the collector's edition of the game. It's a pretty cool video detailing exactly what you're going to get in the package when it shows up at your front door. So there's the box itself right here, which looks really dope, followed by the centerpiece of the package, which is of course a figurine. This one being of V, the main character, on his motorcycle, pulling some badass John Woo style stunt while crushing this enemy right here below. On top of that, purchasers of the collector's edition are going to get a map of Night City, an art book, a keychain of one of the game's cars, the one shown last year, a world compendium, a steelbook case for the game, what they're calling a survival guide that's packaged in this cool looking faux evidence bag, some stickers, and of course the game itself. Pretty comprehensive stuff. I feel like they're not really cheapening out on anything, but in turn, this is not a cheap package. It's going to set you back $250 if you decide to purchase this game in the US. But for my part, I think it's worth paying the price for someone like me, for a nerd who's into collecting all these collector's edition items. I'm into it, but of course it's going to be up to each individual to determine whether they're willing to shell out that kind of cash. But I mean, even if you just shell out $60 for the standard edition, that standard edition, if you purchase the physical version, comes with plenty of goodies inside. Now, what you may not know about this collector's edition unboxing video is that there is more to it than meets the eye. A lot of you probably dismissed the beginning, but there you will see that there's some brief footage of lines of code running. If you actually pay attention to this part, there's something listed here called SSH, which is short for what's called secure shell. This is then followed by information on how to access this SSH. A few people caught onto this, and they discovered that it's actually real. And for those who did manage to get into the SSH, they discovered that there are a number of files related to Cyberpunk 2077, GOG, as well as Gwent, which a Reddit user has since posted those files on a Dropbox site. Looking inside the Cyberpunk 2077 folder, you'll find 4 files. 2 of them are high-resolution posters for the game in PDF format. Another file is an image showing a message from none other than Marcin Iwinski that reads, quote, "Thank you for believing in us and buying a DRM-free copy of Cyberpunk 2077. This is a message that you'll get if you pre-order Cyberpunk 2077 on GOG, according to multiple reports. GOG being, of course, CD Projekt's DRM-free storefront. As for the 4th file, last but not least, we have a text file featuring a secret message. Secret messages have been a tradition for Cyberpunk 2077 ever since its announcement. We have seen that happen multiple times throughout previous trailers and previous marketing push. We're seeing this happen again this time, and the secret message featured here reads as follows. It's a long one, but it's a worthwhile read. Finally, after months of preparation, we can share with you 2 big things we have been hard at work on: Cyberpunk 2077's cinematic story trailer and a brand new gameplay demo. Yes, we know for now the demo's only available to the lucky ones who managed to get tickets to E3, and the rest of you will have to wait until Gamescom or the public dev Q&A unveiling stream at PAX in August. Yeah, we can already feel the bashing you're gonna give us online. Why are you not treating us fair? Why is the gameplay not being released right away? The reason is we want to make the most out of the months of work we put into the demo and first showcase gameplay live at E3 and Gamescom. Releasing gameplay right away would make the Gamescom presentations pointless and would significantly limit our chance to build hype. Why do we need to build hype? To get more gamers interested in Cyberpunk 2077 and, hopefully, convince them to give it a go. We are putting our hearts and souls into making Cyberpunk 2077 a great game, and we would like as many gamers as possible to find out about it and experience its amazing story. Also, hype can turn into sales. After all, we're not a charity, and good sales allow us to grow, take creative risks, and deliver new, great games for you to enjoy. And let's not forget about one more super important announcement: the release date. Less than a year from now, on April 16th, 2020, you'll finally be able to sink your teeth into Cyberpunk 2077. As you probably noticed, we prepared 2 editions of the game. Why only 2? Because when we pre-order ourselves, we don't like to go to Wikipedia to compare content. We have a simple deal. There's the standard edition, the one we think most gamers will choose, and a limited collector's edition. While we're pretty proud of the collector's edition, we'd like to turn your attention to that first one. Why? Because we have really maxed out the physical capacity of the box with goodies. We think this raises the bar for standard, and we hope you'll think so too. Also, since pre-orders are live, you might be wondering if there is any point in placing an order now. Yes, if you want to give us some extra support. Pre-orders help us build anticipation. The more copies you pre-order, the more likely it is for us to get retail, both digital and physical, behind the game. Therefore, if you like what you see, we will appreciate you voting yes for Cyberpunk 2077 with a pre-order. If you're still hesitating though, we would rather you wait for more materials or reviews. Our goal is for you to truly enjoy Cyberpunk 2077 and not regret a pre-order. Take care, and looking forward to seeing you in Night City, CD Projekt Red team. I mean, come on, you just cannot help but love these guys even more when they keep saying all the right things. I love the fact that they went out of their way to explain why for now only members of the press or people who are invited to E3 get to see the gameplay for now, while assuring that the general public will get to see it in the not-so-distant future. They also took the time to emphasize the importance of just keeping things simple, of just having 2 editions of the game rather than introducing a bunch of editions like other publishers tend to do. I've talked before about how many game publishers tend to release their games these days with like 5 or 6 or 10 different editions, and it just causes a lot of confusion, and it's their way of getting customers to spend as much money as possible in a nefarious way. CD Projekt Red, on the other hand, is taking a much more different approach, the opposite approach in fact. They're not trying to overwhelm people with all of these different packages that come with different levels of content. They're just saying, hey, this is one package a lot of people are going to want to buy, here's another one for the more hardcore fans. That's it. But even if you just get the standard edition for that $60, you're getting so much bang for your buck with all of these goodies that come packaged. What other developers might charge $80 to $100 for, CD Projekt Red is making part of the base package, the base $60 product. In their secret message, they talked about how they want this to be the new standard. They want to increase value rather than continuously decrease them as the years go by, which is what other publishers have been doing, and that is just incredibly admirable. And hell, I would even go as far as saying that this standard edition actually seems to have more value, looks better than a lot of the deluxe editions that I've seen from so many other AAA games. It's this level of dedication towards going above and beyond, towards breaking the cycle of shady monetization tactics rather than following these kinds of trends that make CD Projekt Red such a beloved studio among gamers. And on top of all this, CD Projekt Red also went out of their way to explain how pre-orders is like a vote of confidence for them and that it does help the company, but at the same time, they're like, hey, if you feel even a bit of hesitation, wait it out, wait for the reviews, whereas other companies will do everything in their power to get that pre-order out of you just for the sake of bolstering their pre-sale numbers and what have you. CD Projekt Red is being candid and saying, we like it when there's a lot of pre-orders, but also we don't want to feel like you're being tricked into anything. Wait if you have to. Just a class act all around. And on top of all this, remember that they're also committing towards not including any microtransactions whatsoever, making this game DRM free, giving away free DLC when possible, and supporting the game post-launch with comprehensive, reasonably priced additional content and expansions that we can look forward to. So combine all of these factors, and me personally, I am sold. on Cyberpunk 2077. Not only does it look amazing, but the morals behind it, the principles behind it, are just on point. And Keanu Reeves playing Johnny Silverhand, yeah, just the icing on an already delicious cake. Speaking of Keanu, I should also point out that CD Projekt Red appreciated the guy who yelled during Microsoft's press conference, "You're breathtaking," which prompted Keanu to respond with, "You're breathtaking, you're all breathtaking." Yeah, the guy who yelled that, they tracked him down because he posted on Twitter that he's the one who yelled, "You're breathtaking." And CD Projekt Red contacted that guy and said, "You're getting a free Cyberpunk 2077 Collector's Edition." Just little things like that make the community feel so connected to the studio, to the developers. It's just, it feels like a two-way street. Now, one thing I do have to point out that there isn't a lot of communication on is the fact that Cyberpunk 2077's Collector's Edition won't be available for people who purchase the game on PC in the United States. Global community lead of CD Projekt Red, Marcin Momot, tweeted yesterday the following: "To answer questions about the availability of PC version of Cyberpunk 2077 in the US, PC will only be available digitally. All other countries where boxed PC game is being sold will have a downloadable code inside, both Standard Edition and Collector's Edition. Hope this clears things up." So yeah, it's not just the Collector's Edition, even the Standard Edition, the goodies that come inside that package, that's not going to be in the US for those who purchase the game on PC. For some reason, there's only digital copies for PC available in the United States, and I can't think why. I'm thinking maybe it has something to do with the publishing side of things. In other countries where this game's launching, PC players are getting their packaged Standard Edition and their Collector's Edition. So that's definitely a shame, and it's strange given the US is sort of one of the biggest markets in gaming. So not sure why this is an issue here in the US specifically, but hopefully this is something CD Projekt Red can extrapolate upon. I know there are a lot of PC players who want to pre-order the Collector's Edition or get the Standard Edition goodies, and they're not going to be able to. They're just going to have to pre-order digitally for now, and either more communication on that front or fixing this issue would go a long way. With all said and done though, I am overall so pumped, even more pumped than before, for Cyberpunk 2077. Every time I see new material for this game, every time I get new information, every time there's a marketing push, and every time CD Projekt Red talks about their intentions with this game, I just become more attracted to it. And this secret message only bolstered my confidence in the studio, in their products, and in their ethics. And I'm just happy to see that there are studios out there who aren't giving in to these shady trends. Instead, they're going the opposite direction, fighting the wind, and I just love that. Anyway, these are one man's thoughts and opinions on the Cyberpunk 2077 secret message that CD Projekt Red left behind. I'd love to hear what your take is on the message, its contents, what it had to say in the comments below. With that, I would like to end this news update and discussion video. Thank you for tuning in. To be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.